You know, after going over the incident report and after going over the autopsy finding, which is physical forensic evidence, it would prove that Holly lied. Holly lied in the incident report. In the incident report, Holly stated that Romeca was coming towards her with a closed fist and it made contact with her. And then she pulled out her weapon and pow Romeca. And if this was true, Holly, why did the forensic evidence say that Romeca was shot from a distance? Y'all stay tuned. We're going to break this down. Now, according to the Chicago Police Incident Report, the shooter, aka Holly, claimed that Romeca engaged in a physical altercation with her. Romeca punched her with a closed fist. Romeca ran towards her, leaving her with no other option but to defend herself and pow Romeca. So the report described a face-to-face confrontation, but to verify that claim, we must look at the physical evidence. And this is where everything falls apart. Now, the autopsy performed by the Cook County Medical Examiner Office tells a very different story. Because you know why? People lie and science don't. So let's compare the incident report versus the medical examiner finding on Romeca's body. So according to the incident report, anybody who read the incident report and hear what Holly is saying, of course you're going to say this was self-defense. Based on what Holly said, right? Holly said it was a close-range fight. She had no other choice but to pow Romeca to defend herself. That's what she said. That's what the incident report said. We can't listen to what the incident report say. Holly lied. Holly fabricated that story to make herself seem like she was the victim. But in reality, when the autopsy report came out, I bet the prosecutor knew that once they read what we read, that this was not a close range shooting. It was a distance shot. You know, once they found out that you lied on an incident report, you could go to jail and get more charges for lying. And Romeca was not bending over. Romeca was not attacking Holly. Romeca was not running towards Holly. Romeca was standing still when Holly pow her. That's just not me talking. That's forensic evidence. They determined that. That's how they knew Romeca was shot from a distance. That's how they knew that Romeca wasn't moving when she was shot. Romeca maybe was froze, like, oh my God, this bitch got a gun, you know? And she maybe tried to turn and run away, but Holly already pow her. That's why they heard so many shots, because it was coming back to back. Holly was not pow-powing Romeca in self-defense. It was offense shooting. She tried to do that. She wanted to unalive Romeca, right? See, Holly thought she had all the sense. Holly thought she had this TPO. Holly thought because she had her CCLs. Holly thought because Romeca was so close to her that she was going to get away with unaliving Romeca black men. But that's not true. So Holly made it seem like it was a physical confrontation between her and Romeca. And she popped Romeca in close range. But forensic evidence say a different story. Holly and Carlos could go to jail for lying in a criminal investigation. Carlos and Holly lied to save their ass to make it seem like Romeca was this villain. See, this is one reason why this is a criminal investigation. Y'all are so slow. Y'all really thought Chicago Police Department was just going to take Holly and Carlos' words and deem Holly innocent? Y'all really think these people weren't going to do a criminal investigation and wait for the autopsy report? Why do y'all think this case is still open? And it's so sad that a lot of y'all think this case is closed because the medical examiner office released Romeca autopsy findings to the public. Y'all really got to learn the law. Y'all really got to learn the law. Y'all really think just because the medical examiner office released the autopsy report that the case is closed? The medical examiner office is a different entity from the Chicago Police Department. Just as well as the Chicago Police Department is a different entity from the state attorney office. Even though everybody is connected, they operate differently. Now, let me tell y'all the difference. If y'all don't know the difference between the medical examiner office, the Chicago PD, and the state attorney office, I'm going to explain it because I do study law. I might not know Chicago law that well, but I know the law. I know what looked like a murder versus a self-defense case. I can tell you that much. So when it comes to Chicago Police Department and the medical examiner office and the state attorney office, even though they are connected, they operate differently. See, the medical examiner office only there to prove the cause of death and how that person was unalive. That's it. So when it comes to the Chicago Police Department, it's their job to handle a criminal investigation. They are responsible for conducting statements, getting up evidence. They're going to get the medical examiner evidence and they're going to put it in a file. Once they get all the evidence, the witness statement, they're going to ship it to the state attorney office, right? That's when the state come in. The state are the ones that are going to pursue charges. Now, one thing, let me go back to the Chicago Police Department. The Chicago Police Department is in charge of charging you on what charges that they feel like fits the crime that you did. That's the Chicago Police Department. Now, back to the state attorney office. The state attorney office is the last resort. They're going to say yay or nay. Yes, we can pursue charges on that person. Nay, it's not enough evidence to pursue charges. Case closed. However, this case is still open and is an active investigation because now that they got the forensic evidence and the forensic evidence does not align with the victim's statement, aka Holly's statement. Now, Holly said Romeca initiated a fight with her. Romeca ran towards her. Romeca punched her with a closed fist, and she had no other choice but to pow Romeca. So therefore, Holly is saying that she pow Romeca in self-defense. But if the forensic evidence is saying this is a distant shot, and Romeca was shot from a distance, this is not the same. It's contradict what Holly said. So now is a big argument. So guess what? The prosecutor is going to bring that up. Now, before I end this video, I'm going to tell y'all why Holly family is coming out the way they are coming out. Because they know the truth. They know once the forensic evidence was done and the autopsy report was released to the public and the medical examiner office shipped that information to the Chicago PD, and once they reviewed the evidence and the findings from what the medical examiner office stated, they noticed that it was contradicting to what Holly said. Now, this is why the family is acting up. This is why the family came out and said, oh, Romeca tried to go for the baby. If Romeca tried to go for the baby, why is not listed in this incident report? See, now they making up shit. Because you know why? Holly is a freaking liar.
Liar! Liar!